Welcome to SUNNYTIME Dolls YouTube channel.
When I heard that American Girl would be releasing a new line of contemporary dolls as part of their diversity initiative, I was expecting that to occur this summer or perhaps even into September, October next fall. However, Mattel has announced that the new line is going to be released this month. It's called Truly Me Street Chic Collection, which includes both contemporary dolls as well as fashions. And so far, the images that I have seen show the dolls to be, they have multicolored hair, purple, blue, and they have a kind of edgy urban vibe. I will try to be open-minded until I get a chance to look at these dolls in person, but my early feelings are kind of mixed. I understand that American Girl has to change with the times and bring the dolls into the future to attract a new generation. However, I think that chasing the latest trends also has a risk because you can start to get far away from what made the brand so unique and special to begin with. Anyway, this new release made me think about the types of dolls I wish American Girl would release. In today's video, I will be going through my top 5 list. In 2019, American Girl released Truly Me number 82, who has the Josefina face mold and really long wavy hair. In 2020, they released Truly Me number 84. She has the Jess mold and again, really long hair. The more I think about it, all the dolls I believe in the 80 series, like 81, 83, they pretty much all have very long hair that's like almost to their knees. In real life, most girls do not have Rapunzel length hair, and it would be nice to see dolls that had a variety of hair lengths and hairstyles. American Girl used to have dolls like Truly Me number 37, Truly Me number 40, and number 56, who had medium length hair, and they've all been retired. At this point, I would hope that American Girl could release some dolls that had short hair or a pixie hairstyle, but right now they only offer those dolls in their Create Your Own line, and I find that very disappointing. Beauty comes in many different forms, and I think short hair can be quite beautiful, and the dolls that I have here have custom wigs that I got off of Etsy, and they look absolutely stunning. American Girl is at this point releasing dolls that have multicolored hair, and so how hard would it be to occasionally have a doll that has a nice, cute pixie haircut? America is a multiracial, diverse society with people of many different religions and backgrounds, and it would be wonderful if AG could release a doll that reflected that history. We have not yet had a Girl of the Year or any kind of a character doll that was, for example, of a Muslim background or a Middle Eastern background, and the United States has been engaged in 20 years of war in the Middle East, and so the storylines that you could tell would be so rich. We could have a Girl of the Year, for example, that was a refugee from Iraq or Afghanistan, and she comes to America with her family to settle here, start a new life, and, you know, explore that kind of a storyline. Or we could have a story of a girl who is from an immigrant background and ends up going back to her home country somewhere in the world to visit family members in a foreign country. Recently, we've seen a lot of Girl of the Year storylines where the doll travels to some exotic country with her family, such as, Kira, who goes to Australia, or when we had we had Grace, who went to Paris. And so because America is a country of immigrants and people have family all throughout the world, I think it would be a wonderful opportunity for AG to release a Girl of the Year from a recent immigrant background who goes back to her home country and, you know, see where that storyline could take us. I find it almost unbelievable that we have had 19 Girl of the Years, but never a contemporary Girl of the Year that wasn't of a Native American background. The Native American population in the country, you know, it's not the largest population, but it's a pretty big, you know, part of the fabric of America and part of our heritage as Americans. And so for a company named American Girl, you would think that by now we would have already had a doll that was perhaps of an Alaska Native Inuit background. Canada has a company with a line of 18-inch dolls, and that line does include an Inuit doll. And so I would hope that in the coming years, sooner than later, that we could actually see a contemporary character doll that was of a Native American background, because natives are not just in the past. There's also people today that actively participate in tribal life and keep their traditional customs alive. Additionally, we've had now 2 dolls set in Hawaii, and yet Alaska, which is also, you know, a state that is kind of exotic and wild, we have yet to have a doll set in Alaska. I could probably do an entire video about this topic, but it has been kind of rehashed frequently in the YouTube community. I was just looking, however, at the American Girl of the Years when I was making this video, and as I had stated, there have been 19 of them, and 7 of the 19 had green eyes. Now, green eyes in the world is rare. I looked it up, and there's about 2% of the world's population that actually has green eyes. Yet for American Girl, 32% of their Girl of the Years have had green eyes. And so what this tells us is that AG is already making dolls that don't always reflect common features found in most girls. And so if they can be making dolls that have purple hair and blue hair, and, you know, 30% of their Girl of the Years have green eyes, even though that's not very common in nature, then it should not be much of a stretch to make other features that are not that common, but that are found in real little girls. And so one example would be to have a doll that had like a Jess face mold, an Addie face mold, or a Sonali face mold with freckles. Right now, we don't have any dolls with freckles in those face molds. Additionally, it would be wonderful to have other face molds besides Classic and Josefina that had blue eyes or gray eyes. And when it comes to hair, we have not yet had a doll that had dark skin but red hair, or a doll with a Jess face mold that had red hair. I grew up in a military community as a child. My dad was in the Navy, and so I would have friends that were biracial. I had a friend who was, you know, half Asian and half Caucasian. I knew of people who were like half Mexican and half Japanese, and they would have these kind of unique color combinations. And so it's not completely unheard of to have someone be of an Asian background, but to have freckles or to have red hair or to have, you know, different features besides just black hair that's really straight and brown eyes. And yet, when you look at American Girl, every Jess mold that they've produced, for the most part, besides Kanani and number 79, For the most part, they all have black hair or dark brown hair and brown eyes. And a lot of times I think when American Girl hears that, oh, we need more diversity because people are clamoring for more diversity, they will churn out like another dark-skinned Addie mold with textured curly hair. And I think that that's not necessarily what consumers want. They maybe want to see an Addie mold that has very light skin, or to see a Sonali mold that has, blue eyes. And so when I'm thinking about diversity, I think that our generation, they get it much more accurately on what people want to see because they produce dolls with just amazing color combinations. I've got some our generation dolls here, and you can see these dolls look very unique. They are very beautiful, and they have unique multiracial features. The last doll on my list of the types of dolls that I would like to see AG release are historical dolls. To me, the essence of what American Girl is it was founded to be a line of toys that told a story, about the lives of real little girls that could inspire girls to, live a life of courage, to take inspiration from other girls who have come before us. And the root of the company to me was to be an educational source about our history, about our heritage as Americans. And there are still many stories left untold. For example, it would be wonderful to have a historical doll set in Puerto Rico or set in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I mean, these are United States territories that have been a part of our history. And I think it would be fascinating to explore those lines of our history and to bring new stories to life. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed my opinionated video today. I guess we'll all have to wait and see what the reception will be for the new line of contemporary dolls and fashions.